Hey guys, Kim here, and you are tuned into Kim E, the Diabetes MP. Now, we are in the month of February, and we've been talking about diabetes in the Black community. And if you have not, stop what you're doing. If you have not seen the first two videos, stop this video, go back and watch the first two, where I give just an overview, some stats of the of diabetes in the Black community, and then I also spoke about the complications. And today, as you can see from the title, I am going to answer a very common question that I get, not just from people in the Black community, but from many of my patients as well. As we know that the Black community is one of the priority groups when it comes to diabetes, but they're not the only one. We're not the only one. We're not the only group. We also have our Hispanic population. We also have our Asian population, and we also have our American Indian, Native American population as well, that are also identified as priority groups as well. And I get this question from patients from these populations, as well as patients from other communities as well, and demographics as well. So I thought it would be really good for me to come on here and answer this question, just in case you've gotten this question yourself and you kind of find yourself to be stumped, with this question. Maybe this can give you some ideas of how you would like to answer it. And I would love to hear how you answer this question. So drop down in the comments and let's keep the conversation going, and see what other people use to answer this question. So what is the question? Okay. So the question is, and I get this a lot, is, well, diabetes runs in my family. So does that mean that I'm automatically going to get it? I've heard this question in many different variations. I've had patients to feel that they're automatically going to get it. I've had patients to feel like why bother to live a certain lifestyle if I'm going to already get this stuff anyway? I've had people to have the disease or have other chronic diseases and just kind of push it off as like, well, everybody in my family has it. And so what I really want to answer today is the question that I get from patients as, does this automatically mean that I am going to develop diabetes because everyone in my family has it? And I am a very visual person. I love to illustrate stuff for people. I love to tell stories. And so one of the things that I say, I actually use two different kind of phrases, right? And what I say is, I first say this. I said, when it comes to anything that is considered genetic, anything that is considered through your genes or runs in the family, I always like to tell people one or two things. Genes brings you to the dance. Your lifestyle makes you dance. Another thing that I also like to say is, similarly, genes put you on the diving board or bring you to the pool. Your lifestyle is what pushes you into the pool. So what do I mean by that? When something is considered a familiar link or something that is genetic, most of the times with many chronic diseases, and we're talking about chronic diseases, it is just a predisposition. It predisposes you to it, but it does not put the nail in the coffin for you. It's not written, the book is not written on you. What I find is, if you are a person who has been put at high risk, if your lifestyle does not support a healthier lifestyle, that's when you will see yourself developing a chronic disease. And most of the time when I explain it like that, that's a lot of people can understand that. But then also that opens up the door for me to talk about lifestyle changes. So let's talk about lifestyle changes. And I want to lean into a big debate that's kind of going on right now. And I see a lot of health and fitness influencers talking about this online, but I've recently started to see licensed healthcare professionals get in on this. And it's this whole idea of the diet culture. I have even had people come into my comments, and tell me, you can't just talk about, you can't shame people or fat shame people, and you can't just always tell them to diet and stuff. And I'm having to tell people, whoa, 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 whoa. I said lifestyle changes and modifications. Where did I fat shame somebody? Because lifestyle modifications is not just weight loss, right? It's not just weight loss. But I understand, and yes, I do think that we do need to be careful how we promote weight loss and the importance of it. It is important. It is. It just is important. When it comes to our chronic diseases, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes, I will say with hyperlipidemia, that I would say out of all of them probably has one of the strongest familiar links that I have seen, because I have seen literally people who live extremely healthy lives have high cholesterol, and it's literally every person in their family has it, and they're healthy people. They run. I remember my pharmacology teacher, who was a pharmacist, very thin man. He ran marathons with his son, and he still had to take a very low dose statin. Like the healthiest person, like would be nibbling on granola and grains and nuts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was a very, very healthy man, and led a very healthy lifestyle. And I have also, even my PCP, she even healthy person, and she even has to take a low dose statin. So I've seen that in a lot of my patients, where even with living a healthy lifestyle, that still may put them at cardiovascular risk. But when you're dealing with the majority of our population, our chronic diseases are due to the way that we live our life, especially as Americans. And that's a conversation that nobody wants to have, but it's a conversation that needs to happen. And yes, it can be, one of the aspects can be weight loss, but we also are a very sedentary community. Like, our population is very sedentary. We sit at the computer way more than we did generations prior. We don't go outside and get vitamin D, because at one point in time, we were more of a blue collar nation that worked outside and did more physical manual labor. Now we're behind computer screens more. We're on our phones more. People don't get out like they used to. And all of that is going to take a toll on us, y'all. All of that takes a toll. So yes, food and losing weight is a part of it, but you also have to keep in mind that we take in more and we don't burn that off. And that's really simple math, honestly. To lose weight, you have to burn more than what you take in. But what has happened in our country is we end up taking in and not burning off nothing. We go out, we eat and it's not just our fault either. Our system is kind of built for gluttony, honestly. Like, you look at a commercial, it's like at one point in time, I remember the cheeseburgers at McDonald's being the cheeseburgers that you now can get in the value size meal, that 2 cheeseburger meal. I remember when that was even introduced. I remember McDonald's before quarter pounder and cheese. Do y'all? I remember it just being the Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? Even our drinks, remember when we could supersize it? Now you don't even have to say supersize it. Like, a medium is a big drink. A large is a humongous drink. Our portions are just huger now, and we eat more now. And we have to address that. So I can understand that the diet culture, there has been some messaging that has been very detrimental. Because again, while all of this is true over here, what's also true is that people, we all, myself included, we don't have the best relationship with food. Many of us might have grown up in households where you were told to clean your plate. Instead of stopping when you were finished or you were full, you were told to finish your plate. Really, you're full and and so one of the things that I do as a mother is that when my kids say that they're full, I don't make them finish their plate. we wrap it up and we put it in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? I have learned to make portion sizes for my kids. You know, I live in a family where we don't, like, my husband is a picky eater, my kids are a picky eater. And so I've had to learn this just to be able to get them to eat, you know. But I'm just saying that, like, many of us grew up with different messaging that we now know not to be very helpful, you know. And so I get it. I get that there are some bad messages in diet culture, but we can't throw what the old saying says, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, two things can be true at once. Yes, there's some bad messaging in the diet culture. Fat shaming should not happen, but we also need to address our unhealthy behaviors. And what I find is, in an effort to not offend people, we just allow our patients to do things that are detrimental to their health. And for me, it's an act of service and it's an act of love for myself, because, like, if I have this rapport that I have built with my patient, that they feel comfortable enough to tell me the truth about what they do and how they eat outside. My thing is to not be so restrictive, but what can we do to modify what you're already doing? Because here's the truth of the matter. Research backs this up as well. You can read the standards of care and all the different articles that's out there. It doesn't take much. A little goes a long way. You don't have to lose a lot of weight. You don't have to modify everything that you eat. A lot of times I ask my patients, what do you typically eat in a day? And, you know, they may run off that they get fast food, they may eat packaged foods, they may drink these many sodas a day. First thing I always do is, I always start with this one. Let's minimize how many sodas you drink a day. And let's replace that. Let's try to drink a little bit more water. I've even advised patients to water down their sodas. And so instead of drinking a full Coke, maybe pour out a little bit and pour in and replace it with however much water that is. And people are very open to do that. You know, they're very open to do that. It's also been proven that there have been people who have just cut out sodas, and I have actually had patients to do this, and people will drop like 20 pounds just by just cutting out the sodas and drinking more water, because it's full of sugar. There's not much nutritional value in it at all, but there's some bad stuff in it. So we have to be careful and we still have to hold our patients accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because what are we doing then? Like, if you can just eat quarter pounders, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and drink pops every single day, and just eat all the high fat, high sodium stuff every single day, then you have to really ask, and this is what I actually tell my patients. I say, what is your goal? And your intervention, your actions have to line up with your goal. If you say you want this, are you doing the things that are going to lead to this? It's funny, and I'll say this, and then I'll be out of here. I'm reading the book Atomic Habits. And one of the things that the author talks about is people focus so much on the results, but they don't focus on the process to get you to the result. So even when it comes to working out more or eating healthier or losing weight, we're so focused on, I'm just going to work out more. But we don't think about, okay, what would put me in line to be able to work out more? Is it maybe I lay out all my clothes the night before and I make it a routine that is just a habit of mine, so I'm already doing that? Maybe it's having an accountability partner. Maybe it's packing up my stuff the night before and taking the route that makes me go past the gym every single day, so I'm not going out of my way. The path of least resistance. And he talks a lot about that. Talks about eating healthier, not buying unhealthy food, or putting your fruit, something that an example that he used was, he realized that he was buying a lot of fruit. Yes, he would go and buy the fruit, but he would put it in the crisper in his refrigerator, and he would forget about it. And he would find himself having to throw out a lot of moldy, old fruit. So what he would do is, when he would bring his groceries in, he would put it in a bowl, in the middle of the counter, so he could see it and it would trigger him. Oh, I need to grab this apple, top of mind, right? And so I often, this is the approach that I take with my patients as I'm talking to them about not only how this runs in their family, but how to incorporate healthier lifestyle tasks, so you can prevent or slow down the progression of the chronic disease. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are not already, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my YouTube family. Also, ding the notification bell. What that does is it notifies you when I put up a video, so you don't miss a video and you can stay up to date and follow along. Again, if you have not already viewed the previous videos, I am making a playlist and I'm going to link some other relevant videos down in the description box. You have been sitting here with Kim E, the Diabetes MP. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.